Hello, everybody, and welcome to week number 3 already. A couple housekeeping items to start. Reminder, you're going to get your feedback for week 2 on Monday of week 3. So please take a look at that. I put comments, I copy your DQs over to a Word doc, I put comments, and then I have some stuff after that as well. So please take a look through that. As I write, the comments and the feedback I give you is intended to help you improve for future weeks. I hope it's helpful to you. There's going to be an extra document designed to assist with assignment number 4 that I'm going to put in the course news and bulletins probably Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. It's intended to assist what's already there in terms of your week 4 assignment, because it's not too early to start talking about your week 4 assignment. And a reminder, as I put in our first email that I sent to you, of an optional Zoom meeting Tuesday, March 16th at 9:30 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. If you'd like to come on and discuss anything related to assignment number 4, the assignment in week 4, please hop on and we can have a live synchronous discussion. Again, it's optional. You don't need to be there. I'll record the audio and put it in the course news and bulletins after as well. Now, let's turn to week number 3. There's 2 learning targets for week number 3. Explore ways to practice and encourage critical consciousness, and I'll define that in just a second, and examine critical and decolonial strategies to engage with difference for social transformation. So I advise you to take a look at the unit notes as well every week, but within the unit notes, what happens is the term critical consciousness gets defined a little bit better. It doesn't mean to criticize, but rather to use depth of perception when examining a topic. It's defined as the ability to perceive social, political, and economic oppression. So critical consciousness means recognizing dominant ideologies and how they've led to structure inequalities for certain peoples, populations. Leaders will stand against such systemic issues, are often met with resistance. So just taking a couple lines from the unit notes here. Of course, this week's readings are designed to explore how such consciousness is a vital part of leading for equity, diversity, and inclusion. 3 readings this week, just a couple notes on each. Of course, there's the Beecham and Watson reading. It's a case study that looked at the systemic nature of racism, its presence in the nation's public schools, and its aims, really public school, how it disenfranchised people of color, recognizes the critical role of school leaders in the struggle for education equity and improved life chances for Black and Hispanic students in this particular article, and talked about how racism is systemic, so certainly within line of the unit notes and the theme for the week. The notes on Masiko, that was a bit of a deep article for sure. It was a bit of a challenge to read the whole thing. You'll probably feel the same way. I would suggest you take a look at the notes I took. And just a reminder, every week I take my own notes, I highlight, and then I put them in the course news and bulletins. I hope they're helpful. So this was it was a challenging read, no doubt about it. So within the Masiko article, the author talks about success pertains primarily to how the intersection of critical consciousness and transformative practice facilitates the professional identity. And the group they're talking about is a group of Black pre-service teacher. It's a cohort. Later on in the article, the author says the need to uncover the various ways in which ingrained societal disparities support systems of privilege and oppression. So certainly, again, in line with what we're talking about this week. The Ning article from 2016 is actually Canadian, which is great. And a couple things from there. Talks about anti-racism work begins when we are prepared to recognize the issues of Indigenous sovereignty. If we continue to do anti-racism work without addressing the colonization of Indigenous peoples, we will merely be tinkering. So 3 articles that stick to that theme this week. So again, please feel free to take a look at my notes on those articles within the course news and bulletins if it's of any help to you. DQ1, in your role as ethical leader, regardless of your position within an organization, everyone can be an ethical leader, of course, regardless of position. How could you incorporate the issue of critical and decolonial consciousness to promote an anti-racism culture in your school or organization? And of course, remember, if you're saying, okay, what exactly is critical consciousness? Just take a look at the unit notes. There's a nice definition right there. So again, lean on some theory for that, but also talk about some practical examples as well. Each week in the DQs, it's always about balancing the theory and the practical. Have some of each, within your responses. DQ2 quotes Ning and talks about the concept of unlearning. Reflect and share some of the challenges and contradictions that leaders in schools or other organizations, wherever, must deal with in order to facilitate the unlearning process for themselves and within the educational institutions in which they are leading. So probably lots of examples that you can think about there and describe. So look forward to seeing you on the DQs. Again, feel free to attend the optional Zoom session. You don't have to, but if it works for you, great. And have a great week 3, everybody, and see you soon.